Hello everyone, welcome to another IGCSE Mathematics tutorial. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment if you have any questions or feedback, it does help us out a ton. Today we'll be discussing the fourth topic in the second chapter, algebraic inequalities. First, let's talk about interpreting inequalities. We've briefly touched upon them in previous videos, particularly the one involving estimation and the limits of accuracy, but those did not contain algebraic terms. Let's recap the different symbols you should be aware of. First, we have the less than sign, meaning the term before is less than the one after, so x less than 3 would be 2, 1, 0, and so on. We have the more than sign, which means the exact opposite. We have the less than or equal to sign, same as the less than sign but with a line underneath it, meaning that the term before is less than or equal to the term after. So in the previous example of x less than 3, if we had x less than or equal to 3, 3 would also be included in the possible values of x. We have the opposite of it, the more than or equal to sign. Let's talk about representing inequalities. We can represent them using a number line, such as this one. This number line represents the inequality minus 5 is less than x, which is less than 4. The circle represents each of our boundaries, circles, so the circle above minus 5 represents the minus 5. Similarly, the one above 4 represents the 4. Note that the x is not restricted to any of the integers on the number line, but it can be any decimal within the boundaries as well. Let's continue with another example. This one. This line represents the inequality minus 3 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 1. Notice that the circle above the 1 is filled in, unlike the one above the negative 3. This is because we can differentiate between the inclusive and strict inequalities by filling in the circle. Inclusive ones are the less than or equal to and the greater than or equal to inequalities, and strict ones are the less than or greater than inequalities. The filled in circle represents the inclusive inequalities. Let's talk about solving linear inequalities. Solving linear inequalities is very similar to solving a normal equation. We simply manipulate the inequality how we would a normal equation. The only difference is to take care when multiplying or dividing the inequality by a negative number to change the inequality sign around. For example, let's solve x less than 4, x plus 6. We'll subtract 4x from both sides to once again move the x on its own and the constant on its own, to get minus 3x less than 6. Then we will divide both sides by minus 3 and reverse the inequality sign to get x is greater than negative 2. Let's continue. Let's try another example. Minus 3 is less than or equal to 3x minus 2, which is less than 7. When solving an inequality with more than 2 parts, make sure to perform every operation on all of them when manipulating the inequality. We will first add 2 to all of the 3 parts to get minus 1 less than 3x less than 9. Once again, we subtracted 2 from all 3 parts. We will then divide all 3 parts again by 3 to get minus 1 over 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 3, which is our final answer. Let's talk about graphing inequalities. Some questions will ask you to plot a set of inequalities on a graph and find the region that satisfies all the inequalities. When plotting inequalities, use dotted lines for strict inequalities and dashed ones for inclusive inequalities. For example, find the region that satisfies these inequalities. X is less than or equal to 2, y is greater than 4, and y is less than 2x plus 1. We'll first plot all of these 3 lines. We have x equals to 2, the blue line. We have x equals to minus 4, the red line. Y equals to minus 4, the red line, and y equals to 2x plus 1, the green line. Once again, take care. The blue one is solid because that is the inclusive inequality. X is less than or equal to 2. The other ones are dashed because they are not inclusive. They are strict inequalities. The region that satisfies all 3 is the triangle enclosed. Sometimes you'll be asked to label this. Simply write down the letter that they tell you to write down. Other times you'll be asked to mark down all the coordinates that satisfy these inequalities. In this case, take care to also mark down the points on the line that is solid. So in this case, if you are marking down the coordinates that satisfy all 3 inequalities, we would also include 2 and 4. So the point on the blue line at the x value 2 and the y value 4, even though it's on the blue line, it is part of it. Similarly, 2 and 2, 2 and 0, 2 and minus 2, and 2 and minus 4. All of these points satisfy the inequality, and so they should be marked down. Thank you for watching. Once again, make sure to like, subscribe, comment any questions you may have or any feedback you may have. Check out our channel for previous videos and upcoming videos. And good luck with your exams and studies.